Hi folks, the Puglia region of southeast Italy has long been associated with dark, earthy red wines with just that slight touch of sweetness. Most of them are made from the Primitivo grape. Let me bring you the full story, coming right up. Hi guys, welcome to yet another edition of bigonwine, the channel which, as you should know by now, brings you news, clues and reviews. In fact, it brings you up to speed about just about everything in the world of wine. And my wine of the week for this week is indeed from southeast Italy, and it's this one here. It goes under the relatively long name of Casa Marrone, Gran Marrone Appasimento organic, and the vintage is 2018. And this wine comes in for a price of just under €15 a bottle where I am. All right, a very long name for this wine, so let's give you a little breakdown of that. This wine is produced by Casa Marrone, and they are based down in Puglia, or Puglia in Italian, which of course is in southeast Italy. Now let's give you a little bit of a geographical update on where that is. And the company concerned here, the producer concerned, Casa Marrone, is based in San Ferdinando di Puglia, and that is roughly 80 kilometers northwest of Bari. So if you think of Naples on the west coast of Italy and go across to the east coast, you'll find yourself in San Ferdinando di Puglia. All right, now this wine is made from the Primitivo grape. Now the Americans, of course, especially in California, have put a lot of effort into growing Zinfandel. According to the European Union, Primitivo and Zinfandel are the same grape variety. So Italian Primitivo can be marketed in the States as Zinfandel. The Americans have a slightly different view. There in America, Zinfandel and Primitivo are regarded as two different grape varieties. All right, but what they do have in common, and they're very closely related at the very least, is that the Primitivo is a black-skinned red wine grape, and it produces, generally speaking, rustic, slightly sweet wines which are very, very high in alcohol, and this one is no exception. This one has an alcohol content of 14.5%, so pretty heavy duty, and it does have indeed 7 grams of residual sugar, so high alcohol with a touch of sweetness there. All right, that's the backstory. Apart from the word appasimento, now what does appasimento, which appears on the label, also have to tell us? Well, it means that the grapes are harvested and then they're dried for several weeks to concentrate the sugars and the flavors, producing as a result a wine which is extremely dark in color, high in tannin, high in alcohol, and of course has that slight sugary or sweet flavor to it. All right, there we go. Let's now turn our attention to the wine itself, and as we can see in the glass, it has a very, very dark, juicy red color indeed. Not as dark as some of the wines you find perhaps in the Portuguese Douro wines, but it still has a dark red color indeed. All right, let's try it in the nose and see what we can find. We can see the alcohol content is relatively high from the tears on the side of the glass there. Let's try it in the nose. And in the nose, it has a very abundant aroma. What would I say? It's characterized by dried fruit, almost a kind of Christmassy selection of dried fruit here, plum and other fruits. So dried fruit in the nose, a raisiny dried fruit aroma with kind of sweet spices in the mix as well. So spicy, at least the aroma is sweet, and maybe even, is it a touch of leather? No, maybe not leather so much, but at least toasty in the nose. So dried fruit, sweet spice, and a level of toastiness. Right, very appealing in the nose. Let's turn our attention now to the palate and try it out, and let's see. Serving temperature for this wine, of course, would be around the 18 or 19 degree mark. I think we're just about on the mark with this wine. Yep, okay. Let's try it out. Yep, first impressions, as you would expect, reflect the known characteristics of this wine. So we do have quite a high alcohol content, although that is not perhaps the dominant characteristic. The dominant characteristic is a certain softness caused by the sugar content, so 7 grams per litre of residual sugar in this wine. The second impression, I think, is of the tannins, a slight puckering of the mouth, so the tannins are quite prominent in this wine. Again, not overpoweringly so, but certainly prominent. It's a soft wine, it's full-bodied, and it's very kind of juicy and luscious in that sense. What should we say? The dominant flavours are of dark berries. So we would be thinking here blueberry, blackberry, and maybe even a little touch of cherry. Yes, indeed, cherry in the mix as well. Blackberry, blueberry, cherry. It's very, very velvety, smooth, luscious, jammy, abundant, soft. Touch of sweetness, which is not entirely to my liking, but would be to the liking of many, I'm sure. There's something in the back of the mouth, in the finish, which is very long. Vanilla, certainly, in this wine. A lot of vanilla. Kind of chocolatey, but relatively sweet chocolate, white chocolate or milk chocolate notes in this wine as well. So full-bodied, 14.5%, certainly packs a punch. Touch of sweetness. The dark berries, blueberry, blackberry, cherry flavours as well. Very luscious, jammy, with a vanilla milk chocolate kind of finish on this wine. Very different and very, very southern Italian. Right. What are we going to be eating with this? Well, now, I think we're looking here at dark meat and probably game dishes would be good with this wine. So I'm thinking in the direction of elk or venison. Lamb, I think, would be an absolutely certain given there. Also, your hard salty cheeses would go very well with this wine here. Let's bring you the heads up on this wine. This is a quality Primitivo from Puglia, down in Italy's southeast. It's produced using the Appasimento method. In other words, the grapes are dried to concentrate those flavors and the sugars in the wine. You're getting a lot of wine for your $14.99 where I am. Serving temperature, as I say, around the 18 or 19 degree mark. Slight touch of sweetness would appeal to many, not so much to me, but certainly a nicely made wine. I'm going to give this wine 4 stars out of 5. Okay guys, many thanks for tuning in and checking out this week's video and the introduction to a wine with an extremely long name, Casa Marrone, Gran Marrone Appasimento Organic, and the vintage 2018. Okay, if you've enjoyed what you've seen and heard, then please do feel free to give us that big thumbs up, which we appreciate so much. Drop a comment down below. We're always extremely grateful to receive your comments. Follow me on my other social media platforms, share the video around. And of course, hey, if you haven't done so already, please do consider subscribing by hitting that big red button somewhere up there behind me. And naturally, I'll be back again with another great wine in the week for you. And until we meet again, this is Tony Melville signing off and saying, hey, take care out there. Be good to each other. Enjoy your wines. And cheers.